Good day everyone. Today I'll be discussing an important issue faced by university students globally, that is burnout, and the objective of our research to address this problem. Let's start with the background of study. Burnout is a psychological condition caused by prolonged stress. It leads to emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and a reduced sense of personal achievement, as highlighted by Maslach and later in 2016. Among university students, burnout significantly impacts academic performance, mental health, and overall well-being. Key contributors to burnout include financial strain, lack of sleep, and academic stress. Gender differences also play a role, as societal expectations influence how males and females experience and cope with burnout. Recognizing this challenge, our study focuses on the relationship between stress, academic pressure, and changes in the learning environment. The goal is to provide actionable strategies that can reduce burnout and improve student academic experience. Moving on to the problem statement, burnout leads to a serious consequences such as reduced motivation, poor academic outcomes, and mental health challenges like anxiety and depression. Globally, 77% of students report experiencing burnout, but many don't seek professional help, relying instead on informal support system like friends and family. Financial stress is a major driver, with 74% of students identifying it as a significant concern, while 40% feel rested only 1 or 2 days per week. In Malaysia, this situation is just as concerning. Among medical students, 36.8% experience significant burnout, with severe effects like substance abuse, poor performance, or even suicidal ideation. This statistic highlight the urgency of addressing burnout in the academic community. To tackle this issue, we set a 3 research objectives. The first one is to analyze the relationship between stress and burnout among university students and identify effective strategies to alleviate its effect. The second one is to examine the impact of academic pressure on burnout levels and explore how institutions can better support students. To investigate how changes in the learning environment contribute to burnout and recommend adjustment to reduce its impact. These objectives are reflected in our research question. The first one, how does stress influence burnout among university students and what strategies can reduce its impacts? The second one is, what is the effect of academic pressure on burnout and how can institutions help students manage it? The third one, how do changes in the learning environment contribute to burnout and what measures can mitigate this impact?
Burnout among university students is a growing concern, especially during challenging times like the COVID-19 pandemic. This study examines the causes of burnout, focusing on stress, academic pressure, and changes in the learning environment, while exploring theoretical frameworks like the transactional model of stress and coping. Burnout is a psychological syndrome characterized by emotional exhaustion, cynicism, and reduced personal accomplishment. During the pandemic, burnout surged due to intensive academic pressure, isolation, and abrupt shift to online learning, affecting nearly half of university students globally. Stress as a major contributor stems from academic workloads, financial struggles, and social pressures. Poor lifestyle choices like lack of sleep or exercise further exacerbate this issue. Academic pressure fueled by the demand for high performance often leads to neglect of self-care and social isolation. Over time, this results in exhaustion and diminished sense of well-being. Similarly, the shift to online learning during the pandemic disrupted routines, created technological challenges, and heightened feelings of isolation, making students more vulnerable to burnout. Burnout not only impacts academic performance but also contributes to mental health issues like anxiety and depression. Addressing this requires institutions to prioritize students' well-being through support systems, work-life balance initiatives, and healthier learning environments. By understanding the factors behind burnout, we can develop strategies to support students, ensuring both academic success and long-term health resilience. Now, continue to the conceptual framework of our research on burnout among university students, focusing on the interplay of stress, academic pressure, and changes in the learning environment. Our research is grounded in the transactional model of stress and coping by Lazarus and Feldman 1984. This model explains how personal coping strategies and environmental stressors interact to shape psychological outcomes. By applying this framework, we aim to analyze how stress, academic pressure, and learning environment change contribute to burnout. Burnout, as defined by recent studies, is a psychological syndrome caused by prolonged exposure to stressor. To To explore this, we have identified 3 key independent variables. Stress, assessed using the Depressions, Anxiety and Stress Scale DASS-21. Academic pressure, evaluated through custom survey items. Changes in the learning environment, also measured using Taylor survey items. The dependent variable, burnout, will be quantified using the Maslach Burnout Inventory Student Survey (MBISS), focusing on academic efficacy, emotional exhaustion, and cynicism. We have also developed hypotheses for each variable, proposing positive relationships between these factors and burnout among university students. In conclusion, conceptual framework emphasizes the interconnected effects of stress on students' well-being and academic performance. It uses a structured approach to analyze these variables, offering valuable insight to develop strategies for reducing burnout in educational settings. Now, I will move to the next presenter. Thank you.
The research design. The study investigate factors contribute to university student burnout, focusing on stress, academic pressure, and change in learning environment. A quantitative approach combining descriptive and correlational method will analyze relationship between these variables. For sampling, a convenient sampling method will select 115 participants based on accessibility. Google Form will facilitate efficient data collection within time and budget constraints, serving as a foundation for further research. For questionnaire design, the survey employs 2 key tools, which is DASS-21, measuring depression, anxiety, and stress using a 4-point Likert scale, and the MBISS to evaluate burnout dimension, exhaustion, and academic efficiency on a 7-point scale. These tools ensure reliability and validity in assessing a mental health and burnout. For plan for data analysis, data will be cleaned to focus on relevant response. The goodness of fit will be evaluated to ensure model reliability, while descriptive statistics will provide insight into the mean, standard deviation, and demographic characteristic. Finding will highlight key trend in mental health, offering a basic for targeted intervention to alleviate burnout. Now, I will move to demographic analysis. Starting with age distribution, as it's shown, the majority of respondents, 87.9%, are between 21 until 23 years old, reflecting that typical age of university student. Following this, 6.4% are 24 until 26 years old, 3.8% are 18 until 20 years old, and only 1.9% are above 26 years old. Next, gender distribution shown that 73.2% are respondents are female, while 26.8% are male. This difference may reflect the overall gender composition of the student population or higher participation by female students. Moving on to program codes, the largest group, 35.7%, come from BA243, followed by 31% from BA242, 18% from BA232, and 14% from BA246. This shows that higher participation from finance and HR students. Finally, the semester distribution. Nearly half, which is 49%, are in their 5th semester, followed by 22% in the 4th semester, 18% in the 3rd semester, and 7% in the 2nd semester. Lastly, 3% in the 1st semester. This indicates higher engagement from senior students. So, in conclusion, this demographic analysis provides a clear overview of our respondents, highlight their age, gender, program, and semester distribution.
Now, I am going to walk you through the 4th phase of our data analysis, focusing on the correlation analysis, which is a mean on how our independent variables related to dependent variable. Firstly, correlation analysis uses a coefficient ranging from -1 to +1 to indicate the strength and the direction of a relationship. A positive correlation means both variables increase together, while a negative correlation means one decrease as the other one increase. A p-value less than 0.05 confirms that a relationship is statistically significant. Here, the data analysis reveals. First, stress and academic pressure has a strong positive correlation of 0.686, means that higher stress level tend to significantly increase academic pressure. Stress and changes in learning environment show a moderate positive correlation of 0.609, indicates moderate link between stress level and the changes in learning environment. Another strong relationship between stress and burnout with a correlation of 0.655, which suggests that as stress increases, so does burnout. For academic pressure and burnout, this has a strong correlation of 0.6, showing that academic pressure significantly contributes to burnout. Lastly, changes in learning environment and burnout has moderate correlation of 0.589, indicates that changes in learning environment moderately linked to burnout. Therefore, this result highlights the stress, academic pressure, and changes in learning environment are all significantly related to burnout among university students, and managing these factors is crucial in reducing the burnout level and supporting student well-being. Simple correlation. The R value represents the simple correlation which measures the strength of relationship between the variables. In this model, the R value is 0.711, indicate a strong positive correlation. Coefficient of determination, the R-square value shows how well the independence variables explain the variance in dependent variables. Here, 51% of variance in students' burnout explained by factors such as stress, academic pressure, and changes in learning environment. The remaining 49% is unexplained, suggesting that additional variables outside these models contribute to burnout. The F-test determines if the overall regression model is statistically significant. The F-test value is 0.01, which less than the significant levels of 0.05. This result confirms that the linear regression model is statistically valid for explaining the variance in students' burnout. T-test for stress. The p-value is 0.001, which is below the significant level. This indicates that stress is a significant predictor of burnout and is positively related to the dependent variable. Academic pressure, the p-value is 0.17, which exceeds the significant level. Therefore, academic pressure is not a significant predictor and does not have measurable relationship with burnout in this model. Changes in learning environment, the p-value of 0.002, which below the significant level, indicates that changes in learning environments are significant predictor and positively related to student burnout. The analysis demonstrates that while the overall model is valid and explains a significant portion of burnout variance, only stress and changes in learning environment significant predictor. Academic pressure does not significantly contribute to the model. Further research is recommended to identify other factors that influencing burnout among the university students.
Next, I will continue with the conclusion. Our research identified two major contributors to burnout, which is stress and change in the learning environment. Firstly, stress. Chronic stress from academic deadlines, financial pressure, and social demands significantly affect student mental health. If unmanaged, it can lead to emotional exhaustion and reduce personal accomplishment. Secondly, change in the learning environment. Sudden transitions such as moving to online learning disrupt stability, increase uncertainty, and reduce students' sense of control. These factors collectively heighten burnout risk. Interestingly, academic pressure did not show a strong link to burnout in our study. This might be due to students developing resilience, benefiting from institutional support, or perceiving academic pressure as unmotivating challenges. So, to tackle these challenges, we come up with several recommendations. Firstly, for universities. Universities need to prioritize students' mental health by establishing counseling center staff with qualified professionals. These centers should offer flexible hours and provide individuals and group counseling in a stigma-free environment. Universities can also host workshops on stress management, resilience, and mindfulness, as well as create accessible online resources and 24/7 help lines. Additionally, relaxing spaces on campus with stress relief tools can give students a place to recharge. Collecting regular feedback from students will help improve these services over time. Secondly, for educators. Educators can reduce burnout by balancing workloads. Assignment and tests should be distributed evenly throughout the semester, and priority should be given to meaningful, high-impact tasks instead of excessive ones. Incorporating flexible deadlines and varied assessment methods such as quizzes, projects, and presentation help accommodate diverse learning style. Offering student choices like creating videos or infographic enhance the engagement. Clear expectation and regular feedback ensure students feel supported in managing their responsibilities. Lastly, for government, the government should establish national policies to make mental health a core part of education. Funding should support wellness center, mental health specialists and awareness program across institutions. Including mental health education in curriculums can teach student life skills like resilience and stress management. Additionally, training for teachers can help them recognize a response to signs of mental distress. A national task force should oversee this program, ensuring they are inclusive, effective and sustainable through regular evaluation and feedback. That's all from us. Thank you for listening and have a good day.